Poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. There'll be a bumpy night.
Well, hello, on the Rockers. Pride season continues with a little sibling rivalry. Yes, the queens to end all queens are here. Bob the drag queen and Monet exchange. God help us. And me, your favorite host with the sassy mouth. So raise a glass, let the drinks begin. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air, and on Facebook, On The Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email, book me for a wedding, funeral, and quinceañera, bris, pride, I don't care, I will show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. You can watch and or listen to our almost 300 episodes at ontherocksradioshow.com for free. Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV on the Outlet.tv app, Facebook Watch, streaming with Pride on SVTV and on Channel 31 on the East Coast. All right, let's get this show on the road. Superpower comedy duo and Drag Race alum Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange have announced that they are hitting the road this fall with their first ever sibling rivalry live. The tour will kick off September 14th in St. Louis, Missouri, and weave through Nashville, Boston, Washington, D.C., New York, and other major cities through October. Known for their honest and hilarious comedic observations on their ever-popular sibling rivalry podcast, Bob and Monet will take it 10 steps further with the outrageous sibling rivalry live show. Sibling rivalry has reached a new dimension in a multimedia extravaganza that takes us through the television tubes on a quest to settle the ultimate disputes. Sit back, relax, and don't touch that remote because this is a battle royale of lip syncs, costume changes, and low blows you do not want to miss. Are you Team Bob or Team Monet? Let's find out more. Please welcome Bob and Monet.
I mean, we already know the answer to that question.
We do. Hashtag we do. Okay, I want to know, can you tell us about the first time that you met in person and what kind of first sparked that interest friendship-wise about the other person?
Well, the real tea is Monet needed something. So she came to me and asked me to make her a dress, and I kindly obliged a young, needy drag queen without $1 to her name, without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, and I made her a gown.
You're already trumping, and you are giving alternative facts. I met Bob at the night before, or like 2 days before, at the Ritz Bar and Lounge in New York City. He did a really great number, and we met that night. I was like, "Oh my god, your number is so great!" He's like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "We should hang out." And Bob knows that's how Bob meets all her friends. He's always like, "We should hang out. Like, we should be friends." That's literally what Bob says.
That's how Monet met me, but she was.
And then we were talking tonight, and there was this pageant in New York City at the time called "So You Think You Can Drag," and we started talking about it. And he's like, and I was telling him what I was gonna do. He's like, "Well, do you have an outfit?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Come." Literally, he's like, "Come over. I'll help you make the outfit."
Negative. No, Monet was like, "How can I get it?" Monet was like, "How can I get a dress?" I was like, "Well, girl, the best." And I remember saying, I used to tell every baby queen miss, I said, the best way to get outfits you want is to learn how to make them yourself. Because these designers are very expensive. You have to learn how to make the outfits for yourself. And I was like, and she goes, "Well, I don't know how to make it." I said, "I can make them, but if you want me to make the outfit for you, you have to come over. I'm not going to make it for you by myself. You have to be at the house while I'm making it, and then I'll give it to you. You can leave. I'm not going to go home and work for you."
Now, how long did it take before you became BFFs?
I would say, I really had to do my research and really had to do take the time to make sure that all sides of Bob that I was comfortable with being friends with and okay with him as a whole person. So that took me about 3 years to decide if I would gift him with my friendship.
And Monet's still on trial.
You have to see what those box office receipts are first, and you're like, okay, that works.
The warranty is still warranting.
It's funny. We gays in entertainment, we come across a lot of people. We do make friends quickly, but there's always that defining moment in friendships where it's more than just that surface fun friendship. What was that kind of defining moment where you realized the other person? Well, I was like, wow, this is not just a fun friend. This is a friend.
I remember my moment. Me and Monet and I used to always hang out. Like Monet drove, so Monet would.
I had a car in New York City, girl.
I would ask Monet for rides home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Monet lived in Brooklyn, and Monet would drive me uptown.
Yeah. So I lived like from Midtown. I lived about an hour, like 45 minutes, an hour drive from Midtown, and Bob lived up in Harlem. So leaving from the clubs to go home with like a 45-minute commute. But I would always like either Bob will ask or I would offer. I'm like, I'll take you home. So I would drive out of my way about 30 minutes uptown and then drive myself an hour and a half back to Brooklyn by myself.
That's a friend.
Monet is exaggerating these numbers. First of all, I've never lived in Harlem. I lived either below or above. I lived in the Heights, and then I lived in the Upper West Side. So Monet was driving like 15 minutes uptown.
Okay, so the bitch who wasn't driving knows how it would be like 20 minutes. What are you talking about? 20, 30 minutes.
But you know, so we keep negotiating 30, 15, 20, 25.
It was a week-long journey.
But Monet used to come over and hang out. And I remember we would always like work on our skills together. Like either things like I would teach her how to sew, and then she would learn a new thing and teach me. And then one day we both decided for some reason, like neither one of us to this day doesn't know how to make wigs. To this day, me and Monet cannot style wig. We're like, we're gonna learn how to style wig. So we both had like a plan. So Monet wanted to make this Jennifer Hudson. I will never. This was one of the funniest days. Monet wanted to make the Jennifer Hudson wig. So Monet came over and we were like, she's working on the wig and I'm working on my wig. And we're like, both, my wig is looking horrible. Monet's working on this wig for like, I think maybe 30 minutes to like almost an hour. And then the final product is she stands back and looks at it and she goes, this wig looks the exact same. Like she worked 30 minutes and the wig looked the exact same. And I remember when she said that, we just busted out laughing. We were like guffawing. And I was like, we just spent almost an hour doing absolutely nothing, but really enjoying each other's company the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, was there ever that kind of spark, like, oh, friends, or was there ever like an attraction at first? Did you think, maybe, scissor sisters or something?
Bob is very beautiful, but we never had a romantic connection. Bob and I call Bob my platonic life partner. We have been through a lot of stuff together with family and personal stuff and in the business, and we were just platonic life partners, but never in a sexual way. Honey, Bob can afford all this, honey. This is high priced pussy. Okay.
Yeah, I can tell by all the furniture in that empty room you're sitting in right now. You must be real expensive.
First of all, you know that the container store is coming to my home tomorrow morning to make this a closet, so I had to move everything out.
Okay, the containers are on the way to your house for like 2 years now. When did they show up? Are they stuck in traffic? Are they on that long journey from Midtown to Harlem?
Now, what do you admire the most about the other person?
Bob, you go first.
I admire, Monet is a very, very hard worker, and Monet is a true friend, like a true. I remember one time I called Monet, like I was like bawling, I was like crying, I was like bawling my eyes out because Monet, anyone who knows the weight of my heart, if you want to like really win my heart, or if you want to really lose my respect, be nice to my mom or be mean to my mom. And Monet showed my mom so much love. And Monet visited Atlanta. My mom used to produce drag shows, and Monet did her drag show, and unknowingly did one of my mom's favorite songs, like one of my mom's favorite songs. And then my mom called me and she was like, Monet like really healed my heart. Like she doesn't even know. Like she was like, Monet really is my child. Like Monet, she was like, Monet don't even realize how much that meant to me. The song was "Encourage Yourself" by the Tri-City Singers.
Yeah,
and I was I think I was was I in Berkeley at the time, Mo?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're still in Berkeley. Yeah.
But
something I love about Bob is really is one of the most talented and one of the smartest people I know. Bob is very, very, very smart, very brilliant. He has an idea for every second of the day. And he often, like more times than not, 90% of the time he pulls them off because he also is a very hard worker. And I really respect Roberta's mind. It's a very beautiful mind. Not like the movie, but like, in real life.
There are some queens and a lot of gays in entertainment that get so threatened when their peers experience success, get nominated for Emmys, get press. Where does that kind of personality come from, the both of you, that you're rooting for each other rather than worrying about your own ego? I mean, you really do build each other up. And a lot of queens don't have that quality. Where does that kind of side of your personality come from?
I would like to make it very clear that I am always rooting for Monet. When those other bitches get success, I'm spiteful. But I love Monet. I don't love them hoes.
I think for me, I when I see Bob get stuff, I genuinely feel like it's me getting it. Like I feel like seeing him being happy. Like when I know when he's doing We're Here. Like I was like when he told me the news that he got about We're Here, I was like acting like I got it. And I know some things that Bob was going to get, but he's turned on for the reasons. And I get sad and disappointed just like him when he does, and for his own opportunities. And I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I have a brother. My brother and I are about 6 years in age, and you know, it is really a sibling bond that I have with Bob.
Am I Sean's age? How old is Sean?
Sean is 38.
38.
Yeah.
You know, I want to qualify what I'm about to say by saying I do not believe in this book or its teachings, but at one point I really, really did. There's a book called The Secret. And The Secret, by the way, I just want to point out, I do not believe, I'm not peddling The Secret. I do not believe in that. I think it can be quite detrimental and harmful to people's emotional psyche. But at one point, The Secret did say, you know, when people that you know experience success, try being as happy for them as if it's happened for you. And that is one thing I have taken from The Secret. I don't believe that it like creates success for me, but I do believe that it does create happiness for me.
Well, like I've always said, if we all succeed, then we all succeed. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's nobody can do what you can do, and you can't do what other people can do. And along that lines, you know, we all know family members from time to time fight. Like that's just part of being in a family. And with both of your big personalities, what kind of obstacles have you had to overcome, or pet peeves you've had to get over when creating a show? First the podcast, and now the kind of road show where you're building something. You know, what kind of things have you had to put aside or kind of work through to put this product together?
I think a lot of it is ego. I mean, because again, we're like, to quote Erykah Badu, we're artists and we're sensitive about our shit. And I think it's oftentimes putting like that aside, and even though sometimes I may really want to do an idea, and like really I'm doing this thing. I'm probably like, Monet, listen, how about you try doing this thing? I'm like, no, I want to do it. And I'll hear it, even though I know it's the better option. I'm like, but I want to do what I want to do. And then sometimes you learn the hard way. And sometimes you just learn over doing our 10-year friendship. You learn when to just give and be like, all right, I'm gonna try the other thing to see if I like it, but knowing fully that's the thing you're gonna do. You know what I mean? So that's been my thing, putting aside my ego and just allowing myself to listen to Bob the Drag Queen sometimes when I deem it necessary.
Anyone who listens to our podcast knows that pride will be our downfall. And we have been able to, luckily, we've been able to be there for each other and give some great advice. Monet gives some really, really good advice. My number on the tour, Monet helped me come up with the final. A lot of the number, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I that number is 95% mine. And after the tour, I will be taking that on the road on a solo.
Okay. That well, you speak to my lawyer. But Monet and I, we have good ideas for each other often too. Like we really do have each other's best interest at heart.
Now, who's the first person to kind of get combative?
Bob.
And who's the first person to say sorry?
Me.
That
is true. Who is it? You?
There is countless footage of me online apologizing to Monet, but the weird thing is Monet always says I never apologize, but she keeps spinning this narrative that I never apologize. But there's every time I apologize, Monet goes, "Oh my, I can't believe this is happening," and I'm like, "Well, you should believe it by now, bitch."
Looking back at the first podcast episode of Sibling Rivalry, how has the show changed the most, and how have you changed the most from doing the show?
Sound quality. The quality of our show has changed a lot. You know, I used to edit the podcast myself back in the day, and I used to edit it myself, and we now have professionals. And Monet and I, because we've dedicated more time to this podcast, we've noticed that we get a lot out of our listeners as well too.
Yeah, and also, girl, our podcast has started taking its fiber because, baby, we are regular. The first year we had maybe 13 episodes, and now we put out 2 a week for about a year now. So just in 1 year, we put out 108 episodes of the podcast, 104 episodes of the podcast. So that is an exponential jump in productivity.
Well, and I think that's huge, especially for any podcast, is that consistency. Because number one, your fans, you know, they feel like they're part of your family when they get to tune in to you regularly. They get your advice, they get your opinion on stuff. And plus, for you guys, both of you are so busy. It is like the only kind of time that you can catch up and celebrate that friendship.
No, if I drive by Monet's house and I see her car, I will just stop and be like, "I'm outside, bitch. Let me in." And that is a fact. I would be like, I am outside, Monet. That's what next time cover your car if you don't want me to know. Share your location with me, mama.
All right, so we have some fans that want you to spill the tea. You can answer it or not answer it. This is a fan question I got from Instagram. Monet, what was it like going back for Winners All-Stars knowing that Bob wasn't asked? How did you relay that news to Bob? Like, hey, I'm on the show.
Well, you know, when I found out that Bob was not going to be there, I was like, who is working casting out of World of Wonder? I'm like, do they not realize they are sitting on television gold, not having me and Bob on the same seasons together? Like they're missing out on viral clips weekly. We would have at least 13. You know,
no one else would even get a chance to have a moment of screen time if me and Monet were on the same season of Drag Race. Let's be real.
I was disappointed. I'm missing out. I was like, to compete with Bob on the same season of Drag Race would have been crazy. So I was upset that would not be a reality.
Was there ever a point of you like, hey, I don't want to do it if Bob's not going to do it?
Briefly, I thought, I'm like, oh, well, because when the offer for the Ziz come, I had to like turn down like a bunch of things that I really wanted to do to go back and do this. So part of it, like part of if they ever were to do a winter season, which we've all hypothesized for a long time, and I was like, if they do it, they're definitely calling Bob, and they'll call me. When they didn't call him, I did for a minute, but like, what is Bob not going to do it? Like, why should I do it? But then we were in that time doing sibling watchery, one of the offshoots of our podcast, and when we do those, we are constantly like, bitch, if I was there, she should have. And I was like, I kind of missed that part of Drag Race. I was like, I'll do it. Yeah.
Now, who would win in a lip sync battle?
Me.
I'm not even gonna. I don't even need to dignify it with a response because everyone who just heard that "me" from Bob the Drag Queen is rolling their eyes, especially after
I will say this: one person
I did this week.
One person on this Zoom call has never lost a lip sync.
All right, now who would win in a dance battle if it was just dance?
Me.
Not with them knees, girl, please.
Right, this is. Look at that leg. Look at those gams.
Those look so good.
All right. So this is another fan question is, what is one thing that your sister has borrowed and never returned?
Bob has many of my outfits at house. He has that paint drip one. Yes, you just took you literally came to my house last night.
You gave it to me.
Funny how that works. So when you give me something, you can do whatever you want. When you give me something,
I gave it to me. You mean it hasn't returned? You gave it to me, so I didn't have to give it back.
Bob came to my house last night and took a nude gown that was fully sewn in heat.
You gave it to me, Monet.
I don't remember that.
You gave me this. Oh, it's in the closet now. Monet gave me that dress. Monet took there's a designer named Tyler Wallach. He's a painter. He needed these t-shirts, and I out my own hands, I sewed this outfit myself.
Okay.
And then I turned into this like cute little leotard that I used to wear a lot when I was early drag. Monet, like I lent.
Do you not? When did you lend it? You said, Monet, you're gonna throw it away.
I was not. I lent it to Monet because Monet knows that's how Monet's like. Monet knows I never throw away drag. Monet's no. If I throw away drag, it is threadbare and falling apart. I will find a needy drag queen and give her drag before I throw it away. Yeah. So Monet took it and then Monet covered it in stones, which Monet loves stoning. I don't stone all of my belongings. I'm a subtle queen. I'm known for my subtlety.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm known for my subtlety. They took my garment, altered it, and I had to sneak back into her house and get it back from her.
Do you even have that outfit still?
I have it.
Unless
you done 007 your way back in here and took it again. Mission Impossible.
Well, next time you see it, take a picture of it. I just want to see remember what it looks like.
Okay.
You have my outfit, you monster bitch. And I will say I did one time steal Monet's Roomba.
Oh, you did steal my Roomba. You did, which by the way, honestly, Roomba, them things are trash. They do not work. They don't
work at all. No,
they're terrible.
I'm trying to sneak the Roomba back into Monet's house
because I don't want it. You can't keep
I have this big ass Roomba in my fucking apartment.
We see so many queens come and go on Drag Race. What is the secret to your success? how have you managed to pay homage to the show, but really build your own empire and your own brand? Some queens just seem that they can't do that on their own.
How about you, Monet? How you doing it?
I think that this is my third time going back on the show, and I'm very happy to be one of a favorite of the show that people like to watch and follow and stuff like that. And I think for me, it was always like being true to myself. I never, not ever once on Drag Race did I go on Drag Race to give people a false perception of who I was, or give them a false perception of my talents and what I can do. Like on the challenges that I don't do well at, I own up to it, and the challenges that I do well at, and where I shine, I own up to that as well. So I think it's people seeing you on TV and being able to gravitate with the real with the real facets of you. Like, and for me, that's all of me. Like I think that's what it is. Just giving people like a reality tether to you when they see you on TV of who you are, and when they see you in person, they get that. They're not getting this fake shit. The fake shit never lasts on TV. You can always tell when someone's being a fake ass bitch on TV, whether it be Housewives of Atlanta. Whether it be Housewives of Atlanta, RuPaul's Drag Race, like whatever it is, people know a fake bitch. I'm just not that.
Say their name.
That is very true. You do have this sincerity that really does come across the screen. And Bob, we know you've made a name on HBO, and with the success of Drag Race, but you really made it your own brand. Was it like calculated? Did you meet with your agent and be like, this is how we're going to construct my empire aside from the show?
The truth is, I'm an industry plant. Yes, the industry has created me. I was kidding. I just do stuff that I really love.
Yeah.
And I have a show where I talk about Drag Race. It's because I love RuPaul's Drag Race, I have a show where I talk to my best friend because I love talking to my best friend. I have a show where I travel around the nation and tell queer stories because I absolutely love doing that. I just do things that I really love, and I love working. I genuinely love to work, maybe too much, to be honest. I should probably maybe slow down at some point. I'll rest when I'm dead. But I think because I keep doing things that I really love, and luckily for me, the things that I love happen to have a wide appeal, and other people like them too. And I'm very, very lucky in that way.
Well, and so that kind of is to my follow-up question is, both of you are so busy with the TV shows, Pride appearances, podcast, now the live show on the road. Do you ever just get dragged out and gayed out? You're like, can I just be Caldwell and Kevin today? Can I just relax? How do you keep your kind of mental health, and how do you keep your personal identity going when it's a lot of it's Monet and Bob, on screen?
I think it is human nature to get tired. It's human nature to be on going and need a break. But and I know this sounds so cliche, but when you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work. And yes, there are physical reasons where you get tired and you need a nap and you need a break. But for the most part, I never get tired of doing Pride shows. I never get tired of going to tell jokes. I never get tired of doing drag. Sometimes it's a little irritating. I'm like, oh girl, my face needs a break. The breakout is real. The razor burn is real. But then I have a day or two off, and I'm like, I really want to do that again. You know what I mean? So it's natural to feel that way. But I really love drag. It's the reason why I was working 6 nights a week, every night except Saturday. Besides Friday, before Drag Race, I was working, doing 7 shows a week, 6 nights a week, and I loved it. I fucking loved it, and I still do.
And if Monet gets tired, a bump of Coke, and she is back in the game.
First of all, I do not do Coke anymore.
Sorry, a line of Coke, and she's back in the game.
Yeah, I prefer a line of meth, actually.
But honestly, you mentioned the idea of instead of being Bob Monet, being Kevin and Caldwell. But the truth is, and I think I can speak for Monet on this, Monet and we don't have drag characters. We don't have a weird backstory to our drag, and it's we don't change our voices. We don't change the way that we talk. We don't act differently. When what I like to consider, Bob is really it's just a nickname for me, a nickname that all my friends call me, and my drag clothes are my work clothes. But it's not like I have this Bob and Caldwell are not different people. Bob is just a very popular nickname for me.
Okay, so on the road, what can we expect? Do you get into shenanigans when you're on the road? Are you guys going to have your hotel rooms next to each other, or are you going to be like, I'll see you on stage, let's save it for the stage? It's going to be like Paris and Nicole out on the road, or what's it going to look like?
Well, we always hang out, but Monet has a lot more. Monet is way more social than I am. Monet is more friendly than I am. Monet is better at like being around people than I'm like I'm one of the folks like I'll just go to my room or go to the bus or like have a night like that. And Monet's not like a party animal, but she goes out more than I do. Monet's good at like socializing.
No, that's not true. You're bugging. Bob, when we were in the Canadian tour, you're the one who went out to go see Jada Hudson. You're like, oh, I want to go see the local girls. Bob loves to Bob's
yeah, well, I mean, ones that I like Jada. I love Jada Hudson.
Bob's favorite line, and Bob, everyone knows it. Bob goes, Monet, I just love to go dancing. I love to dance. And so Bob really likes to go out. I'm the one, I like to say it. I rarely ask anyone. I rarely like going out. I will go back to the bus and just sit there and drink my Casamigos and smoke a little marijuana and like be chill. Like that's my vibe.
Like I'm out in these clubs wilding out. Okay, first of all, Monet and I, we went dancing. Okay, Monet and I went dancing one time in like Manchester or
Birmingham. Birmingham.
But is if we go to a club where we're not recognized or there's not a lot of people and the music is bumping, especially if it's like disco and some like early 2000s, like 2008, 2010, circa music, you know, Crazy in Love, Beyonce shit. I have a lot of fun. I go wild. But other than that, I also, but typically speaking, Monet, when I say Monet is friendly, Monet is just better at being friendly with people than I am not. I don't know what's happened, but over the years, I've become much less of a people person. I used to be the only people person. I used to be the only Little Miss Social, the only Little Miss Social butterfly. But now I'm just like, I don't know, Alexander, what's happened, but like, I don't want to be one of the folks that goes, I hate people. I'm not interested in that kind of like, I hate people because I love people. I just somehow over time has gotten less social. I don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, how many thousands of people do you meet on a regular basis between everything that both of you are up to, you know? And then you're doing the whole like VIP package where you have to take pictures with all the fans coming out now for the show.
I don't mind that. I don't mind like meet and greets and stuff. It's like you know what it is? It's like meeting a person I don't know at the airport. Like it's sitting down on the plane and the person next to me on the plane asks me where I'm going. Bitch, where the fuck are you going? We're on the same plane, bitch. We're both going to Chicago. Yeah. Motherfucker, like don't ask me stupid questions. You know where I'm going. Like I'm not hopping off in Ohio.
All right, so who's most likely to hook up on the road trip?
Bob. Bob.
It me.
Not it me.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I am so excited for the road trip. Congratulations on both of your successes individually and together. Where can people find out all about the tour and listen in to the podcast?
BobandMonet.com. You can get your tickets for our tour. And if you want, we really have fostered a really beautiful Patreon family over there. And we really cut up. We do live events and we do fun stuff. So if you want to support us that way, you can go to civilrivalry.com/support and you see a link for our Patreon.
I love it. I love it. And that cuckoo clock sound means that we are done for the evening. Gentlemen, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you so much for what you do for the community, for drag, herstory, and everything. I'm a huge fan and can't wait to see the roadshow.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, that was another episode of On the Rocks. You never know what we're going to talk about. Big thank you to our fabulous queens, my engineer, Tony Sweet, our social media clip editor, Alexis Mendez, researcher, Mama Rose, and Ken Phillips of Ken Phillips PR. Please like, share, subscribe so we continue bringing this fabulous programming coming your way. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, stay sexy. Most importantly, stay tipsy. That's On the Rocks. See you next Tuesday.
This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.